Hi, welcome to the Discourse podcast. I am Abammon the Great.
And I'm Dr. Anna Stone.
Here on Discourse, we talk about mysticism, magic, the occult, esotericism, alternative spirituality, parapsychology,
Psychology.
the supernatural, the strange,
Anomalous, phenomenal, high strangeness.
alternative spirituality,
Ghosts, spirits.
religion, philosophy, everything that is relevant to a magical and esoteric lifestyle.
So on this channel, we're going to explore the hidden history of magic, esotericism, consciousness, psychology, and we're going to also show you how those worlds all intersect.
So we actually started this podcast. We were starting to do video grimoires as we were trying to document our occult experiments with each other. And video grimoires ended up turning into these very long conversations and dialogues where we were kind of challenging each other and pointing out things that was happening with each other. And we decided, why not just bring it to a podcast format, right? Because we both had so much to say. And so Discourse is almost a video grimoire. See, every week we're detailing any topics that are presenting themselves. We're also candidly sharing what's going on with our occult experiments, with our occultism, with our magic. We're also covering a little bit of current events. We definitely believe in bridging the ancient and the modern. We are not exclusively Reconstructionists. We are also not exclusively modernists. So we look to history a lot for inspiration and for guidance on this magical path. So we have a little bit of everything on here, and we kind of probe around to whatever we can on this podcast. It's some weeks it's going to be parapsychology.
We recently did, we've done episodes based, from everything from intuitive tarot reading to the psychology of the magician to the great work, right? And then Arabic magic. Like it's pretty much all over the place, but within the same, cohesive framework of magic.
So this is definitely a podcast that you can listen to every single week that's going to whet your palate, expose you to new ideas, new concepts. It's also going to get a little deeper on stuff you might already know of. We definitely encourage you to jump into the conversation, to get into the comments, to either give us your insight, your gnosis on topics that we've covered, also to give us suggestions. We love to cover things that you guys suggest. Sometimes we do beginner's magic. Sometimes it's extremely advanced topics that we were talking about. We can get into some really nerdy history and historiography. We can get into super fringe psychology and science. And then the next week, just talk about, what it's like being a working tarot reader or what it's like being a working magician. We are both working occultists, and we are here to guide and to expose people to what it looks like. What does a modern occultist look like? What does a modern magician look like? We are normal people with functional lives. We just have alternative worldview and an alternative spiritual practice.
We bring both scholarship and experience. So we both actually practice, and we've had crazy things happen that we share with our viewers so that they, if it's something you've experienced too, we love to hear that. We really like to have a discourse back and forth between our viewers and ourselves. And this is a place where you're going to find, Abammon's ability to break down ancient text and see things that aren't actually written in it, but are hidden is impeccable. I don't even know how else to say it. So, yeah.
Who are you, Dr. Anna Stone?
Who am I? Okay, so my name is Dr. Anna Stone, and I am a college professor. I am an academic researcher in the field of psychology, specifically trauma studies and how trauma relates to psychic ability in individuals. And I am a lifelong practitioner of the occult and esoteric arts. I'm also a medium, a trance medium, a channel, and a tarot card reader. What about you, Abammon?
I'm a ceremonial magician, a student of history, philosophy, theology, lifelong interest in the paranormal, the strange, the supernatural, and a bit of a mad occult scientist. I've been practicing occultism for 10 years. Before that, I was a little bit of a New Age amateur mystic and a ghost hunter, paranormal investigator. I've had a lifelong fascination with religion, theology, philosophy, and I am really, really into history. And so that really comes through on the Discovrse podcast. You're going to hear me talking a lot about history, about tomes, about literature. I love to read. I love books. Why do we work together? Why did we start this podcast?
Well, there's a lot of reasons why, but it was because when we met each other, something amazing happened, and that was something I never thought would happen. When I met you, I realized this person is actually somebody that really practices the occult, that really knows what they're talking about and actually has ability. So, and I think, what did you see when you met me? What was that about?
So I think when we first met, I was just kind of amazed because you had all these strengths and abilities, and I knew you were the real deal when I met you. And I was just so blown away and so fascinated by the type of person you were, because everything that you practiced and knew about and was good at, it was stuff that I either hadn't explored or I wasn't good at, I lacked in, and I found a perfect complement to how I practice and how I learn. And I found not just somebody to practice with, not just a partner, but also a teacher in you, somebody that could educate me and bring me further down the path. And I was so interested, so fascinated in working with you and exploring magic and kind of fusing our paths together and walking the journey together.
I think the exact same thing is true for me. So we have kind of combined our practices together to do some amazing things, like, formulate and conduct scientific occult experiments, using EEG measurements, channelings, all kinds of interesting
psychiatric evaluations.
Yes, yeah. Psychiatric evaluations. Because again, I'm a doctor of psychology, so that's one of my strengths, is that aspect, and then your strengths are literature, philosophy. All of that academic side is incredible. You should be a professor, seriously. But so between the two of us,
I have a strength in the humanities, and you have a strength in the sciences. Yes.
Yes. And and again, I have background of 20 plus years in research science for the United States government and the VA hospital. And together, I think we just blend well, and we complement each other, and we are able to help each other out in areas where we're a little bit, not as well versed. So between the two of us, what I'm getting at here is, between the two of us, it's a wellspring of information, and maybe sometimes we nerd out here. If you were looking for deep dives into things, this is where you should be.
Yes. So please join us on the Discord podcast. Every single Wednesday, we upload new episodes. Make sure that you subscribe, like, comment, because it helps the channel out. It helps the podcast out. And stay attuned to the unseen.